Hello and welcome to the Kosher Deli YouTube channel. I'm Hannah and I'm going to be showing you recipes and meat highlights and new products that are coming up in our stores and for delivery. And if you think that that's going to be interesting for you, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified anytime that we post a new video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my first episode of my new What's for Dinner series. In my life of a full-time job and 4 kids, supper needs to be super easy and super speedy and appeal to everybody in the house. So this series is going to be all about super speedy dinners and how to make them look super fancy without all the hard work. So let's talk about social distancing, because obviously that is the mot du jour at the moment. And we all know that our days are filled with breakfast and then cleaning and then laundry and then snacks for the kids. And then we're going to do a bit more laundry. We're going to tidy up and then we're going to put away the toys and then we're going to organize the toys a little bit. And then we've got to do lunch. And then we'll put another load of laundry in. We need to fold that laundry. And then, we need to do another snack. And then after all that long day of doing and doing and doing, suddenly everybody wants to know what's for dinner. And the short answer is, go get yourself a bowl of cereal. But I'm going to show you that you can make the yummiest roast dinner in 5 minutes and everyone will love it. And it's not just for COVID, it is also for any time that you need to pull out a fancy meal, that you have people coming over, or that you want to make somebody a nice birthday dinner and you want to make a roast dinner but don't want to spend all the time on it. So this is the recipe for you. So let me take you to my kitchen and let's get started. Okay, so we are now in my kitchen. I am scrubbed and gloved, and I'll just quickly take you through the ingredients that we're going to use. We've got our whole kosher deli roaster, which is all nicely trussed. You buy it like this from the shop, which means that it's all ready to go to be just spiced and put into however you're going to cook it. I've got some pepper, I've got some salt, I've got Cajun spice, olive oil, and some chopped up veg. You can use any kinds of spice blend that you like. My family happens to prefer the Cajun spice, so that's what I'm going to be using today. And you can also switch up the vegetables that you'd like to use in your crock pot chicken. Bear in mind that anything that's got a lot of liquid in is going to end up making the end product much more liquidy rather than a roasted style. That's also fine. I'm just going for a more dry roasted style. So now the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my crock pot. So I'm just going to move this aside for a minute and bring in the inside part of my crock pot, and I'm going to line it with plastic just for ease of cleanup afterwards, because part of the whole issue now is making sure that we've got everything as easy as possible. So my pot is lined. I'm going to move that off to the side again and bring in my chicken. So as I said, I've got a whole roaster over here. I'm going to start off with some olive oil. I have a fancy one with a nice spout. Not necessary, of course. I'm going to sprinkle it with quite a bit of olive oil because we want it to get a nice crispy skin. And I'm then going to put some salt on here, quite liberally, because it's quite a big chicken that we've got over here and we want it to have lots and lots of flavor. I'm going to add my Cajun spice. I don't put pepper when I use the Cajun spice because the Cajun spice has a little bit of spice to it all by itself, which my kids find to be quite hot enough without adding pepper to it. So we've got that. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a massage so that we can keep that all that spice and flavor in, and make sure that the oil has gone everywhere so we get an even browning. I'm going to also flip it around and repeat that so we get our flavor on all the pieces of the chicken. So we've got the olive oil again, the salt, a little bit more salt, we've got the Cajun spice, and a little bit more, and we're going to massage all of that in as well. And there we go. And these are the little trussing bands that we put in there. So we're going to flip our chicken back over, and that is all ready to go into the pot. The next thing we're going to do is to season our vegetables. I'm just using some potatoes and carrots. I'm going to do a quick sprinkle with some olive oil, some salt, and some pepper, and just quickly give that a little mix. And we'll put that to the side again, and we'll bring in our crock pot. Now I'm going to grab the chicken and put that in first, in the middle, stick that in the bottom, and then I'm just going to move the vegetables around the outside of the chicken. Get all of them in, squeeze them down a bit because the chicken will kind of shrink a little bit as it's cooking. So those vegetables will do quite well in the bottom. They do get mostly roasted, but the steam that comes out of the moisture of the chicken helps to steam the vegetables and cook them through as well, which is very useful because it means we don't have to add water to this and have that dreaded soupy kind of texture that you tend to get in a lot of crock-pot recipes. So now that that's done, I'm going to pull the bag closed to wrap it up nice and tight. I'm going to get rid of my raw meat gloves and put those to the sides. I'm going to get my lid and cover it up so that it's now all ready to go in. I will say I'm preparing this in the evening before the morning after, and I have been advised by more wise people than I that putting this pot into the fridge and then in the morning putting it into the main part of the crock pot straight into heat is not ideal for this kind of material. So what I actually do is I pull out the bag, put that into some kind of bowl or something, and leave that in the fridge, and then in the morning I'll just put the bag back into the pot, close it up, leave it sealed, and put it on low. So that's the preparation done, and you can see that that took all of, 3 minutes maybe, and I will be back tomorrow to show you putting it in to the crock pot before I leave the house. Okay, good morning. Welcome to morning madness in our house. And you can see that I've got the pot inside the crock pot. I'm going to turn it on low and then leave it there basically all day. We're all going out now. It's about 10 to 9 and we'll be home around 4ish, and that will be all nice and ready for a hot supper for everybody. Right, we are back home. It's now 25 to 4. And I don't know if you can see properly. Oh, there was quite a lot of steam there. How amazing this looks. And it smells fantastic. I'm going to leave it here for another couple of hours till we're ready to eat. And then I'm going to serve it up to the guys. Okay, so it's the evening. It's now 5:45. And we're going to serve up our supper. So I've turned off the crock pot and I'm going to pull out the pot part, which we have over here. And if you could smell the smells coming out of here, it is gorgeous. So I'm just opening this up. I'll be honest, it came out a little bit more soupy than I thought. There are a couple of ways that you can avoid this. Number one is about 10 minutes or so before you're going to serve it, you can take it out of the crock pot and put it into a baking pan and put it in the oven to roast a little bit for let's say 10-15 minutes or so, just to give it a little bit of a crisp. The other thing you could do is have the bag not sealed closed, just open, and then you would close the lid like this with the bag open, and that lets out a little bit of the steam so it doesn't the moisture doesn't build up inside. But in any event, I'm happy to serve it as it is. So I'm going to pull out a spoon and pull out my chicken. So I just put my spoon all the way inside the crevice of the chicken. It actually is so soft that it's falling apart. So I've got here my, oh, it's completely fallen apart. So I've got here one of the breast pieces.
Mummy, I am deaf.
And I've got here another one. And I've got a drumstick. You can see my expertise is not at serving. And I've got a thigh over here. And another thigh. And then I've got lots of little pieces left inside, which I'm going to leave there for now. And I'm going to put some of the vegetables around it. And then it will be ready to serve. Don't forget that you can use any of the bones that are left, any of the skin that's left, to make chicken stock. You can make it, you can add some vegetables and make it into your chicken soup for Shabbat, or you can make it just into a stock to use for cooking, and it will make a super yummy stock. So this is about ready to sit and enjoy. I'm going to take it to the table and serve it up to my family. And there you have it, a fancy roast dinner in 5 minutes that serves up beautifully, the whole family loves, and you can personalize it any which way you like. So please let me know in the comments if you make this and how you personalize it. And if you want to know more answers to the what's for dinner question, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.